In 1985, Kiss released their 13th studio album called Asylum. This is the Rock and Roll Weatherman. My name is Sean Morrison. It came out on September 16th of 1985, and this album marked a continuation of the glam metal sound of the preceding album, which was Animalizer, which had the song Heaven's on Fire. And this marked just about a streak of when Kiss was releasing albums almost every year. And in the beginning, they had like two albums a year, in the earlier days of the Kiss. But getting back to this album, which came out September 16th of 1985, it was the first album to feature lead guitarist Bruce Kulick as an official member. He replaced Mark St. John on two tracks on the previous Animalize album due to the latter's absence to his reactive arthritis, and of course, Mark St. John has passed away. He rests in peace. And he also did replace him on the Animalized tour. And this new lineup of Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Eric Carr, and Kulick would last until Eric Carr's death in November of 1991, with Kulick staying with the band until the reunion of the original lineup in 1996. And the song "Love's a Deadly Weapon," which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, credits Plasmatics members Rod Swenson and Wes Beach as it borrows heavily from their band's song called "Party." The titles and lyrics are, however, taken from a 1981 Kiss demo that was written by Paul Stanley that was officially released on their 40th anniversary remaster of the 1982 album Creatures of the Night. And another Plasmatics member, Jean Bavor, is also credited as a songwriter and plays bass on at least two of the songs. Very interesting there. Now, getting back, the album cover has the four members with colored lips mirroring the colors of the 1978 solo releases: red for Simmons, purple for Stanley, blue for Kulick replacing Ace Philly, and the green for Carr replacing Peter Criss. Why I did that, I have no idea. It also mirrors the 1979 Dynasty cover. And Tears of Fallen, believe it or not, was the only track to be released for retail sales as a single and was a hit for the band. Top 100 single, provided it was popular on MTV. A total of three music videos were filmed for the album for the songs Who Wants to Be Only, All Night, and Tears of Falling. And the album did eventually go platinum. It was certified gold first in November of 1985. Why I only got 2 stars from AllMusic, I have no idea, but I respect everyone's opinions. And all credits adapt from the original release of the album. It featured 10 songs, and there was nothing wrong with any of them. I'm going to mention the songs and who sang lead on them. Of course, we had "King of the Mountain," the opening track on Asylum, had a writing credit with Desmond Child, and of course Paul Stanley and Bruce Kulick wrote that one as well. I'm going to get into different songs on here. Of course, track number 2, "Anyway You Slice It," with Gene Simmons singing. This is excellent. One track on there called "Who Wants to Be Lonely," and Paul Stanley on lead vocals. It remains popular with Kiss fans. I honestly do not know if this song has been played out live a lot, because I know a couple people that went to see, a couple friends that went to see Kiss on the Asylum tour, and said that only Tears of Fallen and All Night from that album were performed live. And they also did that "Who Song Won't Get Fooled Again." And the most underrated song on this album, let's go back to "Who Wants to Be Lonely," that's Paul Stanley singing. "Trial by Fire," sung by Gene Simmons. Why this song was never released as a single still baffles me. Um, 40 years later, I just realized that the album's not 40 years old as well. And "Trial by Fire," of course, would have been an easy mainstream rock hit, a possible Hot 100 single. And then we also had "I'm Alive," which was another faster song with the higher speed metal tempo with Paul Stanley singing. And "Side B" open with "Love's a Deadly Weapon" with Gene Simmons singing, of course. And then we had "Tears Are Falling" from Kiss, which was the only single that technically was released. It was like number 20 on the mainstream rock charts on Billboard, number 51 Hot 100 single in America, number 83 in Canada. The UK singles hit number 57, I believe. Did I say number 57? I believe yes, I did. Now getting back to the album, then we had Gene Simmons with "Secretly Cruel," which was another good one. "Radar for Love" from Paul Stanley singing it, and then the last one, All Night." We work all day, we work all night. You know, you gotta all night. Great song as well. No complaints there. The other songwriters on this album that got writing credits include Howard Rice. I mentioned Mr. Bevore, Bruce Kulick, of course, um, Rob Swenson and Wes Breach, and then we also, and those were the other writers on the album. Of course, on vocals and rhythm guitar, bass on Tears of Fallen. Believe it or not, Paul Stanley. Bass and vocals, Gene Simmons. Eric Carr, drums, percussion, and backing vocals. And then Bruce Kulick, lead guitar and backing vocals. Additional musicians, like I mentioned, Mr. John Verveer, bass and backing vocals on Who Wants to Be Lonely All Night. Alan Schwarzenberg did drum overdubs on Who Wants to Be Lonely, Tears Are Falling, and All Night. Then the engineer mixing was Dave Whitman, Ed Garcia, and Ken Steiger were assistant engineers. And it was mastered by Mr. George Marino at Sterling Sound in New York. Friends, if you're not subscribed to the Sean Morrison YouTube channel, please do so. Everyone else out there subscribe. We thank you very much for the continued love, honor, and support. It's really appreciated. What are your favorite songs off of the Kiss album, Asylum? Believe it or not, my favorite one, believe it or not, is the Gene Simmons one, Trial by Fire. Then, of course, Who Wants to Be Lonely, Tears Have Fallen, and my top four, we can wrap it up with All Night. So, friends, what are your favorite tracks off of the Kiss album, Asylum? Leave your comments here. Shame, shame, shame.